Spent a little time with Patricia Heaton. You're very, very familiar with her from, of course, Everybody Loves Raymond and The Middle. Patricia, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, guys.
How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Got to tell you, we were in Washington last week, and after a big day of running around and all that, went back to the hotel room, flopped down, flipped on The Middle just as it was starting. And thank you, because I was really tired and at that point kind of cranky after a long day. Ended up laughing my rear end off for a half an hour. So well done.
Good. Well, I'm glad. That's what we aim to please.
Wednesdays, 7 o'clock Central Time for The Middle. And I looked this up. I was, I guess, a little surprised. You're going on, what, season 6 now of The Middle?
Yeah, we just wrapped season 6, which is kind of crazy, right?
See, that's your problem. You can't get on anything that lasts.
Yeah. I had a little interlude there, Kelsey Grammer and I on Fox, which is, we had a wonderful 13 weeks together. So
Back to You. That was a good show. I like Back to You.
So yeah, it's timing.
Now, there are some people that have big sitcom success and perhaps don't want a second act or want to do something different or movies or this or that. You have moved from a really successful series into now another really successful series. Was that the goal? Did you want to take a break or go right back into perhaps getting into a 6, 7, 8 year run with another TV series?
Well, I feel like I kind of got started a little later in my career, and so I'm very happy to continue, working as long as possible, because for me, and I think for most actors, we so love what we do, and so it doesn't feel like work as much as it might for somebody who, maybe works in an office and really just looks forward to the weekends. It's sort of like every day is kind of like a weekend, because we get to go to work and laugh, and it changes every week, and we meet new guest actors that come on. So I'm always thrilled to be working, and I've really come to appreciate TV, because it's given me an opportunity to really be a full-time mom while I'm working full-time as an actress, and it's very difficult to do if you're doing film. And I just also think the opportunities for women on television are much, much greater than in film. So I have really come to appreciate how blessed I've been to have been working in television and to have such long-running shows where the quality is really great. So I feel really proud to be a part of shows where the writing is really superb. I didn't know if I could ever find anything after Raymond that would be quite tightly crafted, but I found that in The Middle, so I'm very fortunate.
For those who have not checked out the show, please do. You will find it to be outstanding. As you just mentioned, it is a quality show through and through. There are great performances. There's a great heart that runs throughout the show as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's what appeals. Most everybody who's working on the show is from the Midwest, and so we have a sensibility. We know that we love where we've come from, and we love the people there, and I think that comes through, and that's why you can have this sort of gentle ribbing about life in the Midwest, because you can tell that it comes from a place of love, and that we really share the values that we grew up with there.
The great Patricia Heaton is with us. It's Riley and Scott on WROK. You can find her on The Middle, ABC, 7 o'clock Central Time on Wednesdays. You mentioned a little earlier you got a bit of a late start. I think you went out to L.A. and Hollywood in your early 30s to start the career. Now, you have 4 kids with your husband. Were you a mom at the time you went out to try to make your career out there?
No. I wasn't even married yet.
Okay. So how does that...
When I started Raymond, I had a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and I was pregnant with my 3rd. So it everything happened very quickly. Once I got to L.A., my husband and I got married, started having kids, and then started working a lot. So it was quite an adjustment.
Now, you reached the point in your career, and not just recently, a while back, where you were. We talked to Chuck Woolery about this at one point, where he felt at a certain point that he was comfortable enough expressing how he felt about social issues, his own politics, his own faith. Where he thought, earlier on when he was trying to put a roof over his head and put food on the table, those sorts of revelations could be a career killer.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's different now. I don't know. I think you kind of have to sort of look at the landscape, and I feel like there's now sort of a lynch mob mentality with social networking,
mm-hmm.
and so I think before you might have been able to express an opinion or have a civilized discussion, and now people's jobs get threatened if depending on what they might say or do. So I think it's a little trickier waters to navigate at this point. And I found that I think what's important to me is, the work that I do. I think it brings a lot of people joy,
mm-hmm.
and I don't really want to distract from that. And we can all work on the things we believe in on our own time and in our own ways, our personal causes. So I think you just have to find that balance.
Is it frustrating though? It does seem as though we're just out here in flyover country. What do we know, right? But you can have an opinion in Hollywood if it's the correct opinion. Then you're just an actor or an actress or whoever you are. But if it's a conservative opinion, or you're talking about your faith, then you become then you're tagged as being outspoken. You actually want people to know what's on your mind. Is that frustrating at all?
I don't know. I think it's just sort of the we definitely are working in an industry where the majority of opinions is definitely more liberal, and but I think when you find working one-on-one with actors, writers, directors, I think what you find is, for the most part, the majority of people, everyone's just trying to raise their families and make a living.
Mm-hmm.
Really hard business to make your living in. And so we all share that common sort of, stress that we all have. Anytime you get a job, it can disappear the next day. There's no guarantee. So
mm-hmm.
we're all doing that together. So I think what people really appreciate on just a day-to-day level is all of us showing up and doing our job and doing it well and being professional and being nice and pleasant to work with. And then within that, we have our conversations, and we can have great rowdy conversations with each other. But I think at the end of the day, when you see who a person is by the way they behave on set, the way they conduct their lives, then the political opinions don't really matter as much, because you really see who a person is. I think Dennis Prager says, I don't judge a person by their opinions, I judge them by what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, that's really the way to conduct yourself. And I think, I think we all in this business share the stress of trying to stay afloat here and make things happen and create. And it's hard work. And so I think that's the bottom line here. Even though the media has an investment in pitting people against each other because it makes a good story, I've found that, 99% of people that I work with who hold different opinions from me are still lovely, wonderful people to work with. And we kind of have a good laugh and can really kind of jab each other over our different opinions.
Patricia Heaton with us from The Middle on ABC. Wednesdays, 7 o'clock Central Time is when to find episodes. It's Riley and Scott on WROK. You mentioned people are mostly nice and pleasant. Sometimes the horror stories are more well-known. Through your career, who are some of the nicest, most pleasant, put a smile on your face actors and actresses you've had the pleasure to work with?
Well, certainly Georgia Engel, who played Brad Garrett's mother-in-law on Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, she was Ted Baxter's girlfriend on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. She is so wonderful, the sweetest, kindest person. Linda Lavin played my mom in my first sitcom called Room for Two. I learned so much from Linda, and she was such a mentor to me. I was just a really young, new actor in sitcoms, and Linda was extremely generous to me, and I learned a lot just by watching her and watching her act. She's a superb actress. So, and then of course, I mean, I had such wonderful casts on Raymond. Kelsey Grammer was great on Back to You, and I was, you know, every show you make all these wonderful new friends. It's just a blessing to be in this industry where you get to continually meet interesting, talented people.
Patricia Heaton with us. It's Riley and Scott on WROK. Before we let you go, I saw a really neat, nice, fun, different family film last year that you were in called Mom's Night Out. If people aren't familiar with it, tell them about that, what it's about, and why you got involved.
I think it's a wonderful story that sort of celebrates unsung heroes, which are, you know, moms. We get the one day a year, Mother's Day. And in fact, we have a wonderful middle episode coming up about Mother's Day. Those are some of our best, actually. But just sort of explores the trials and tribulations of different kinds of moms, stay-at-home moms, single moms. And I found that all the families who watched it, the moms feel encouraged by it because really there might not be a lot of material, financial remuneration for your job as a mother, but you get this deep satisfaction for having the privilege of being able to raise these young human beings. And it's a huge job, the most important job, really, because that's our future comes from our children. And so it's just a kind of a real celebration and a support of the hard work that moms do. And it's been really well received.
And if you haven't seen it, make sure that you do. And also, you're going to want to check out The Middle if you have not already. Now, you'll become a fan very, very quickly. Patricia, thanks a lot for taking time out of your morning for us.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.